Alisa, welcome back to the Open Doors Sisterhood.
Welcome back. I'm laughing because I'm pretty sure I bullied myself in the door. I was listening to the series on like the middle, and I was in the Boston Logan Airport listening to it, and it was the doctor who was on the OBGYN. I'm not sure what
Dr. Carol.
Okay, Dr. Carol. And I loved everything I was listening. I was like, yep, because I am in menopause right now. I'm in it full-fledged. And I was listening to that teaching. It was so great. But then my mind was like, my heart, like, we got to talk about the body. Like, let's really talk about the body because it's a big deal. So anyways, I reached out and I texted Krista. I'm like, I really want to come on the show and talk about the body. So if there's a place for me, let me know. If not, I totally get it. So yes, I'm back again, but I came and bullied myself in.
You did not bully yourself. You made yourself available. You made yourself available, which that is a lesson for all of us. I don't think we do it enough. And so you modeled that to me. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I think I modeled, it was a burning burden for women. I get it. I know this, that there's just such a heaviness when it comes to our bodies. Like, and what we see and how do we adjust to that? And I wanted to come have that conversation because I think it needs to be had. So it was a burn in my belly.
Well, we are glad that you said yes to that burn and that we could have you back. And I think you are our first time three-peater in that this is your third time on the podcast.
The trilogy of Alisa.
That's right. That's right. We have not had anybody else on 3 times. So that tells you, and that tells our audience that we trust you.
Yeah.
And that we believe that you are a good voice that our audience should be listening to because you get us, you are us, and you are very, very wise when it comes to how God uses our bodies, how we are embodied, how we disconnect from our bodies.
Yes, ma'am.
And all of the things that you have taught me. I mean, because truly, I feel like it wasn't until I was about 40 years old. I'm 48 now. It wasn't until I was about 40 that I really, and I had all my babies. I had 4 babies, that I really started considering how disconnected I was from my body. And you were part of the process. You and Francie both, our friend Francie Winslow.
Yes, love me some Francie.
That helped me kind of be a little bit more in touch with God's good plans for my body.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump in. We're talking midlife, and we want to consider what it means to care for our bodies at this stage of life. Give us just a general picture of what you see women struggling with, or just kind of what the state of the union is as far as women, midlife, and our bodies.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming at this from my own personal testimony of the change I had to go through. So backstory for me is I've always been active with my body. Have I always been connected and integrated with my body? No. I used my body as a power and weaponry. Like I got into the whole fitness realm. The body and fitness and health and fitness is definitely my passion. It's a good thing that became my God thing. So then it became the idolatry of my heart, and I elevated it above all things. And I thought if I had the right body, and here's the big thing for me, and I think we've got to really address this as women. The consequence of sin we saw in the garden was that our desire would be, we'd have pain in childbirth. So pain shows up once sin entered the world. So experienced pain in our body, with our body, to do the thing it was created to do, was now going to have pain. And we saw that for Adam too, to do the thing, to work the field, it was going to be more painful. We as women now would have pain to just bring life, and we're made that we are life bringers, right? But also we see that her desire would be for Adam, for man, and he would rule over her. So our bodies become this way that we think we can gain back what we've lost, this If someone sees me, knows me, loves me, then I'm something. That's the fallout of sin. So we can't even see ourselves anymore appropriately. And our relationship with our body, we even saw that with Adam and Adam and Eve. When they first sinned, they saw they were naked. Everything changed. Boom. From that moment, you no longer saw your body the way God saw it. Like, it's just the effect. Their eyes were opened, which means we really should have had our eyes closed in a sense. Like, when it says eyes open, it's like too much. We began to know what we were never meant to know. We were all the things that God was to know. We now had this opened up to, but we're still not God. So this vexing, this disconnection happened. So for us, we have to get real honest as women. We tend to wait for someone to value or say, this thing is good, this body. And so then we spend our life, much like me, like trying to make it look like something, working it out. And then you put the 1970s, 80s, and the craze that I was born into of diet and fitness culture. That thing took off like a rocket ship, right? And it wasn't bad. I mean, it was fun. Everyone got excited to bounce around and do some aerobics. And it was really good because why? It was good for our brains. Like, neurotransmitters and hormones were starting to dance around. We're actually moving and embodying, feeling powerful, serotonin, dopamine, all these chemicals. And then that becomes kind of an addictive pattern of, now we feel good. Then if I feel good, then I must look good. But if I can look good, I got to feel good. So the whole thing got crazy. And I was in that. So when I'm now 51 years old and have watched my body, it's changing. And that is something that I knew was going to come, but nobody can prepare you for. Nobody. You can do all you want. So whether I had to realize there was still a disconnection for me to my body, because to really be connected in your body, it's to be present in each moment. Without judgment. That's called mindfulness. But to have a mindful living means to be present, and to be present in your body, you have to be able to be in it without judgment. How hard is that for all of us? All the time. And now we live in a media culture where everyone's telling us what our body should look like. So for me, it's been having to reintegrate and reassociate to the Lord through season to season to season. The other thing we need to remember, listen, ladies, if your body works, if it can get you about, I love this quote. It said, I saw a meme that went around Facebook. It said, Mother Teresa didn't have time to sit around and worry about the shape of her thighs. She had stuff to do. Now, they didn't use the word stuff, but you know what I mean? Like that is what your body is for. That's actually called body schema. Your ability for your body to move, like to reach and grab something and stand, sit down. That means your body's talking. It's called body schema. Your brain has a map to tell your body what to do. That's good. That's how God designed it. Body image is when you're so obsessed with or considering, how do people see me? And again, that goes back to because of sin. So I'm here because it's real. Our body changes. I don't think there's anyone here that's going to say my body isn't changing, whether you're losing strength. And the big one is 83% of women in midlife, it's their midsection.
Yeah, and amen.
That is my story. I'm not, at 50 years old, I had my 50th birthday party last year because I'm now 51. And I had this amazing hot pink jumpsuit. You go to my Instagram and scroll back, you'll see me. I mean, it was amazing. I was loving this jumpsuit. And bought it to make a splash for my birthday, had a great birthday party. Alex, like 3 months later, I went to put it on again and it was suffocating me. I was like, what happened here? What? Oh, I mean, I hurt and like pooch, like whoop, was out because it had like a cinched waistband. It just hit. And I've heard people say it happens. And that is because the hormones, when they're ready and they want to do their dance, then your progesterone and estrogen drop. And I was in menopause. I was probably prior peri, but I probably had really hit menopause at 50. And when your progesterone and estrogen drop, but progesterone and estrogen for the body physically helps to mitigate cortisol. So the more, when you have progesterone and estrogen in your body when you're younger, you can fight off cortisol. You can fight stress a little bit more. And cortisol is the hormone that comes when you're stressed. So if progesterone and estrogen are like the superpowers to fight off cortisol, as those go down, your cortisol levels go up, and your belly is the like womb, warm place, a lot of blood flow, and lots of cortisol receptors are in the belly. So you now drop that, those superpowers kind of go down. And as you stress or just go through the same amount of life stress and cortisol's there, it's going to just push into the belly. And it's not like all of a sudden you got to go on low carbs or you need to go on keto, or it's hormonal. To me, the bigger issue. So if 83% of women say their body image with themselves in midlife has to do with their belly, 83%, and I'm one of them, I felt it. It's not about, oh, I need to work out harder. I need to cut the carbs. And ladies, this is why I'm here today. That will actually backfire. If you try to row your boat back to the island of your youth, you are actually feeding the very thing that is causing the effects in your body to swell with cortisol. It's as if God has wired us mentally, physically, and emotionally later in life to stop working so hard. Stop working so hard. You need to now learn how to navigate the waters and not go with the flow, as in let go, like let yourself go, but let go. Let go. And the truth is, for people who don't have the Lord, a leading, a prompting of the Holy Spirit, they will get lost. You will let go. What am I going to do now? I mean, they'll probably just continue row, obsess. And when that doesn't work, forget it, neglect. And then they get sick and maybe do things they shouldn't be doing or hurting themselves more chemically. But we are to like let go of that youth, that ideal. But here's the good news. I want to cast this vision for everyone, all the ladies. We are like the queens. We are the royalty now. We are the ones transitioning from the life of building and creating, building a family and building a home and making and it literally, there's a great book called Strength to Strength. If anyone wants to it's a great book to go along with this midlife. What now with my life? Because the book's premise is how we're all prone to try and keep it going, and we got to build it. And if we get older, we think we're going to be forgotten. And to some degree, we're kind of supposed to stop building that name for ourselves. Like those days are over. So in the book, it talks about the first half of your life is the building phase, the creative phase. That's totally me. Rev was built, things that I'm doing, my kids, like building. The back half of your life, he calls it the crystallization phase, where your message is already there. What you know to be true is in you. Now crystallize it, get clear about it, and then live that out. And then you become the teacher of it, because you're now the wise, the sage, the one who knows. But if you're so busy rowing your boat, trying to get back to youth and keep building and keep acquiring stuff, adding to the painting, when really what midlife does is it's chipping away at the statue and taking away all the things you don't need anymore, so that you can now be this crystallizing phase of life where you are the teacher, you are the mentor, you are the one who gives away what you know. So your body has to go through that change to be it. Like your body needs to release out of that work cortisol phase, so that you cannot be fighting against it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm going to just rephrase it to make sure I'm understanding right. That the first half of our life, as we're building, there's a lot of stress involved there.
Yep.
And our body was designed, in a sense, to handle that stress.
Yep.
And then midlife hits and our bodies change, and we can't handle that same level of stress in the same way.
Exactly.
So if we continue at that same stress level, we're going to see it.
Yes.
And we're going to feel it.
Yes.
But if we respond to kind of the natural rhythm that God has created for us in the macro of our lifetime, our body is going to respond in a way that's positive.
Yes. To match this new season of life. God has more for us. but it's new. And everyone hates new because we know how to
Mhm.
do old. Oh, new seems so scary.
Mhm.
But it's a beautiful invitation. And I can actually get practical about this too, in
Mhm.
terms of
Yeah.
what the body, I'd like to do that. So, but your body composition changes because mostly three main reasons. Hormonal, we've talked about that, progesterone, estrogen drop, and then cortisol in your body's still gonna have cortisol. So you have to be aware of that level. Hormones, less activity. When we get older, we do get a little less active. We get a little more comfortable. We're not as chasing around the kids, going to the park, like right? Like that is happening to me. I'm an empty nester. There's a lot more time for me to sit and read and contemplate, and that's great. But that's so we have less activity, and that's not bad. But what also happens is we have a more indulgent intake of calories often, more eating. Two reasons. One, you're probably at a state of life where you can afford a little bit more. You go out to eat. It's just a little bit more easy. You're not making the food all the time. So lifestyle changes to be more in that comfortable place, but also hormonally. Sorry about that. It's our friend Francie. It's actually Francie right now. I need to mute my phone. Let me just mute that. So we have more like a time to go out to dinner. We just have more time. So we go out. It's a more comfortable lifestyle, but also hormonally, leptin, which is a hormone that our body releases when it tells us we're satisfied. So leptin is a hormone that you're satiety, you eat and you're satisfied. Like, oh, I'm good. So you're more in cue when you've eaten and you're satisfied or full, if you want to call it full. When we age, leptin decreases. So it's not there as actively to tell you we're good, we're satisfied. So now you tend to eat more calories than you actually need because of that leptin level. So what are we to do? Let's lay these three things out. One, hormonally, that really goes to back to the doctor. Like, so you should go to the doctor and decide what you want to do and how you want to play that out because your hormones have changed. And what I can bring to the table, ladies, is don't stress. Like the more we stress in this area of life, that's why if you like are stressing out about your body or stressing them out, and so you got to do really hard workouts or whatever, you're actually feeding the negative cycle of that hormone or cortisol, and you'll never see results, and you will feel exhausted, and you will wonder why is it not working? You'll be frustrated. So don't stress is that first thing for hormonal balance. And that means also when it comes to your living, just embody, like be embodied. There was a study found that women in perimenopause and early post-menopause experience elevated cortisol levels at night. So this means you've got to sleep. You got to get really serious about rest. Like God is serious for the older people. We are to be these sages. We are to be the ones who have clarity, but to have it, you've got to have this good rest. So making sure you have a good sleep hygiene, which means, like getting off your phones, put them in another part of the room, don't leave them next to your bed, all of that. If your phone is next to your bed, you're just keeping that cortisol level pumping, and your body will continue to inflate in a way, like fighting off that. Cortisol is an inflammatory in our bodies as well. So we'll feel that. Making sure that you don't watch things at night that will stress you out, right? Like do something. It is called sleep hygiene. Be good to your brain, read a book, get yourself into a more whole place than feeling fractured and frazzled and going to bed with that high buzz because you won't sleep. And then the hormones continue to chase after you in a negative way. So have a bed routine. So those are my offerings for you. I'm bringing to the table for the body. Get good sleep, and as little as you can stress, know it. That's really important, that you know when you're stressed. Alex, how do you know when you're stressed?
My jaw hurts because I'm clenching my teeth. My body, I feel like I need to run around the block. Like I feel like I've got built up tension.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm not sleeping in general, you know? So
Mhm.
that cortisol at night situation, I mean, I got out of bed at 5:30 this morning, but I've been up since 4:30. I don't want to wake up at 4:30. Like some people might say, well, that's when I wake up, but I really should have been sleeping longer.
Yeah.
But I was stressed. And as soon as
Yeah.
I was halfway awake and starting to think about those things that were stressing me out, then I was awake.
Yeah.
And so I
Okay.
feel it.
Can I offer a tool? Because our bodies, God has built into our bodies its own mechanisms to bring and hold peace. So even the fact when you take a deep breath, inhale, and you exhale, whenever you exhale, your parasympathetic nervous system comes up. It's wired that way. The parasympathetic is your rest and digest nervous system. Your nervous system, think of it like the electricity that's running through your body to get you to think and feel and choose, to take information and turn it into action. You need a nervous system. But if it's like humming all the time with our fight, flight, freeze, or stress of our sympathetic nervous system is rattled all day long, and we don't shut that thing down, then it comes in the middle of the night. Well, that's why just breathing. So next time you are woken in the middle of the night, the cortisol levels or whatever's, even if it's a hot flash, ladies, that's all. I went through that, man. I was not sleeping at all. I didn't know I was in menopause until I could not sleep. I knew this night sweats. I thought I could ride it out. Like I just had to look at the whole scope of everything. So deep breath in the middle of the night. If it comes, don't turn on your phone. That's why put your phone in the other room. I put all those digital things somewhere else so that you can't bring in that blue light. But box breathing is really wonderful, where you inhale for like the count of 4, hold it for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4. Hold it for the count of 4. And what I will do with that is I will do a prayer. Like I will inhale, Jesus, hold it. I give you everything, exhale, and everyone. And that is a battle cry. By the way, that's John Eldridge uses that prayer. Yeah, I do not know what's going on. They are hunting me down all the places with my talk about stress. Name of Jesus. So yeah, just a prayer. Jesus, I give you everything and everyone. And another thing you can do, it's called embodied cognition, is just put a soft smile on your face. When we put our body in a posture of what we want, our brain actually releases that chemical. So if you smile, then you will just hold it and step into that posture of smile, and your heart begins to feel it, and you emulate it out. Then your body will release serotonin and a level of even oxytocin, a pleasure as you think these things. Why Paul says, think about such things, whatever's true and excellent. So your body, again, God's given us these built-in things to breathe, vision, pet your mind, like literally sit and vision yourself seeing God, seeing you and how pleased he is with you. See his wings covering your bed and that he gives his beloved sleep. Like you can literally embody the gospel. Don't just have a theology, be the theology, breathe it, think it, feel it. And then all this stuff in our hormones will start to resonate with that of peace. And the body, maybe you'll lose a little bit of the pooch. I don't know. That's where people are like, I want to lose the pooch. Stop focusing on what's seen. What's the unseen thing that's coming against you? Because that's the real war. Once we can settle that, then our body will hum on that same level of peace. So hormonal changes, sleep is really important, and paying attention to that, partnering with a healthy hormone pattern. The next thing we talked about was that you eating, right? More indulgent eating. And then I talked about the leptin goes down so you don't feel. Okay, so what are we going to do about that? Well, this is why midlife is the time. It is the time. If you haven't done it, it's time to start. Stop thinking about what you're eating and more, why am I eating? That's something a sage would do. That's something a wise woman does. A wise woman doesn't run around, wait, what should I eat now? Who should, like, what's the latest trend? No, that we fell into that trap. in early life, like that was our first part of life. This part of life is like, I'm not playing that game anymore. I'm going to become more in tune with me, even though you might feel hungry. It's to stop and ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I hungry? Or am I just bored? Or am I anxious or whatever it might be? But having more embodied about why you eat, not so much what you eat. I had written a note here.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
guess too that if you're focused on why you eat, you're going to make better choices about what you eat
Totally. Totally.
because
Totally.
you're eating for energy. You're
Right.
eating so you can do the things that your body is designed to do.
Correct.
And you're going to make better nutrition choices if that's your motivation.
Absolutely. It's an integrated question, right?
Mhm.
A why is better than a what. A what's a head space. Like,
Mhm.
what should someone tell me what to eat? Give me the
Mhm.
information. A why is a heart space. A why comes from the deeper part of who I am. Your why is going to be very different than my why. But
Mhm.
they still, at the end, we definitely know when it's time to eat for energy. Well, yeah, that's kind of across the board. So I want to encourage people to don't freak out about what you eat. That will only stresses you out more. Enjoy what you eat. Be present to the moment. Enjoy what you eat. Think about that.
Mhm.
Enjoy what you eat. There's a difference between um like wanting something to eat and liking what you eat. A lot of people just want, desire, I'm bored, I'm hungry, I'm tired, whatever it is, instead of, do you like what you ate after you ate it? Right? If I really like what I eat, then it will like me back. And I'm not eating it. We've got a mutual like relationship going on, right? If I just want something, okay, you can have that, but
Mhm.
it doesn't always like me back, right? So this, the simplest thing to ask yourself too is this kind?
Mhm.
What I'm about to eat, is it kind? Why I'm eating, is that kind? Like, am I in a kind state of mind? Because it's his kindness that leads us to repentance. And repentance is a new way of life, new way of thinking, new way of living. So I think at some point I would love to do like some type of a kindness, just challenge yourself with a kindness nourishment, like kindness diet. I don't, the word diet is weird, but
Mhm.
it is a word. It's a medical word.
Mhm.
Like, just eat to be kind to yourself. And sugar is one of the most, probably the hard one for most people, because, well, we think, yeah, that'd be kind of me to have this chocolate chip cookie. And maybe it is, but I can tell you it's not 5 chocolate chip cookies.
Mhm.
That's not kind. But the sugar is very inflammatory. And then that keeps cortisol levels spiked up. And then you have inflammation in the body. So sugar is one that you have to watch, especially if anyone's in menopause, because that will feed night sweats, hormone imbalance if you have high sugar levels of eating. So enjoy what you eat. I'm positive there's so much research out there that people who actually take the time to think about what they're eating, textures, taste, slowing down,
Mhm.
not scrolling your phone and eating, being really present in the moment to what you're eating, you will enjoy the eating experience so much more.
Mhm.
And you'll want to do it more and more. And then you'll know when you're not doing it, you're like, okay, that's got to stop. Like, it's enough.
Right.
There's times when you're busy, but it's just not the way to stay in tune to your body and keep yourself from the eating too many calories or not eating enough. So
Mhm.
this is our time. This is where younger girls, I know for me, and when I was younger, I'm like, I don't have the time for that. Just tell me what to eat. Like, I don't have time. I'm
Mhm.
raising kids. I need a meal plan done. But as we get older, we have a little more time. And I think God's trying to give us a deeper wisdom that we can teach it to others, something to
Mhm.
grow into.
Well,
So,
it comes back to that embodiment that we're going to enjoy life more
mm-hmm,
if we're feeling
mm-hmm.
fully present in it and in tune with our bodies in that way. I mean, it's really, I think the practice of mindfulness, of sitting and considering,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to feel the chair under me and the ground under my
Mm-hmm.
feet. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to listen to what's happening around me. And so then I can start hearing sounds that I wasn't
Yes.
aware of. Well, the same is true of taste, I would think too, that
Yes. Yes.
as I'm sitting and I'm focusing on this, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
notice things And isn't that a gift that God has given our body?
Yes.
I mean, think about COVID. People lost their sense of taste and smell.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize how much it enhances your eating experience until it's not there anymore.
Totally.
But I can certainly relate to the eating for the sake of filling my stomach and being disassociated with the experience.
Yeah.
And then looking at it, I grabbed a bag of chips or whatever from my kids' snacks. And I think, well, that was not kind. That did not give me the kind of energy that my body needs right now. And I had an opportunity when I was hungry to give myself something nourishing, and I chose something that wasn't.
Right. And then the bigger issue is never about the food. It's like, why? What is that about? Well, you're busy. So, okay, what am I going to do about busy, God? Like, we're just so talking about chronically stressed. And again, the more stress we have, the more our bodies fight back as we midlife. And it goes, nope, we don't do this as well anymore. And so we have to learn and adjust or not and kind of be miserable in a sense and feel like we're constantly spinning around in that cycle of feeling crazy. So yes, exactly. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And again, this will be hard for people who, if you don't cross over and say, I'm letting go, I'm letting go, I'm not letting myself go. I'm just letting go of trying to get back what's the Lord saying, it's not, that's over. That season's over. Like there's a new one upon you to step into. Can you step into? And that, trust me, it's a battle. I know it. So we talked about, that's the indulgent eating. So body composition changes because we tend to eat a little bit more and differently. And then finally we move less. So because we have less activity. So what are we going to do about that? Okay. This is where people think my body's changing. I'm going to restrict my diet, change my diet, which we talked about that. It's all about stress. And by the way, you need some carbohydrates. Just saying, like a lot of people restrict the carbohydrates because they think it's the belly pooch. But actually, as we get older, we need a little more carbohydrates. Some people more than others, some people not so much. So this is not a statement for everyone to eat more carbs, but generally we've been pretty carb fear because we think it makes us puffy or whatever it is. But your brain needs it. Your sleep needs it. So just being aware of that. So you don't run to your diet and start stripping everything out and then exercising extremely. This is a big message for everyone. I was doing this myself. I just kept thinking, well, I just got to work harder. Can't get lazy now. And man, things are backfiring. My bones hurt because that's another sign of menopause is your joints ache. Well, my joints were aching more because I was beating them up more, trying to keep that edge. And what we need more than anything at this time of life, if you're in the midlife and body's changing, is to have more kinder workouts. So it does shift to most importantly, if you're not resistance training, that would probably be the big thing I would say is to start putting your body under some resistance because your muscle mass is decreasing, which then that lowers the metabolism, which is why the general weight gain can come on. But also just hormonally, your body needs that strength. Your bone density needs it. And that comes in the form of resistance training. So I'm not a big lover of resistance training. What about you, Alex?
I mean, I like it.
Good.
But in the scope of how much I like exercise, which is probably not as much as you do. But well, no, yeah. I do like it. I do like
that's good
because that feeling of tension that I described of feeling like I need to run around the block. I do feel like resistance training relieves that more than actually running around the block.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I just got to shake this thing out. I got to move. And so getting my heart rate up will tend to feel like empowering to me. But as I've learned and researched, it is not good. It's just not as beneficial. That high intensity aerobic exercise at a sustained, always high level. No, it's actually, if you had one thing to choose to do, one thing, I would say resistance train. The resistance training would be kind to your body. It's what it's wanting now that there's some more deficiency than ever before. So resistance training is a one thing I would say for women midlife that want to just get in their body. And there's actually research for women who do resistance train in midlife, their body image feels more positive. And which just makes sense because you can't necessarily be the fastest anymore, the quickest, but you can feel strong. So I have developed it's so funny. I mean, I've done resistance training my whole life because I had to do it, but now I'm actually starting to feel strong in doing it and enjoying it and being mindful when I do it. So connecting to the muscle that's moving. Oh, my posture is getting taller. Like it's an embodied thing. Again, don't just throw the weights around. Feel the empowerment of holding something heavy and resisting against it and rising up out of the squat and going back down. Like these are really beautiful ways to say my body is still strong. Although it's changing, I still have ability and strength. And he who puts his hope in him renews their strength, right? So encourage that. I encourage people to do resistance training. So I speak to all of you guys that have been runners and going. Like, I know you love your running, but maybe pull back and get some resistance training in there. The other thing would be HIIT. There's studies that say that HIIT training, which is high interval intensity training, that can be really good for women, but you can't HIIT train every day. So 1 to 2 times a week, if you want to get your heart rate up and do some HIIT training, that's good. It kind of stimulates the metabolism. But hear me, ladies, and try to keep it short and sweet. You're done in 30 minutes, 40 max, done. A lot of people want to go more, that we fall into that. Well, that was good. If little is good, more is better.
More is better. Yeah.
Right. Nope. It's short. So this messed with my mind because I was used to every session of working out my body for an hour or so, like clocking, I really have a love-hate affair with my Apple Watch. I use it. I like to see where my heart rate's at just to kind of get a baseline of how I'm doing in my body, but it counts calories and I hate that. I don't want to know how many calories, but it plays a mind game on me. I'm like, well, I'm used to burning 400 calories because I'll work out for an hour. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work that way midlife. It's like short 20, 30 minutes. I won't burn 400 calories, but I also know a high intensity it will metabolically benefit me later. Even though I might not burn a lot of calories equal to an hour work, I do fewer calories, but the hormonal benefits later that come from it are what we're looking for. But ladies, hear me. It's not every day. 1 to 2 days a week. Because some people are like, well, do more. Nope. Then it'll spike your cortisol. The whole point, exercise itself is cortisol inducing, right? You're stressing your body. So doing too much will backfire. 20, 30 minutes, high intensity. Other thing is going for light walks. There's show that is actually beneficial. Going for right. So listen, do you hear the whole picture? It's less time, less intensity. That's what God said. By this time with your body, spend less time trying to work and build it. Those days, that waters have closed. And don't be so hard on yourself. Those days are over. Your body will not respond to that. And pick up something heavy. Pick up something. Don't think weak. You're still strong. Exercise some of that inner strength of soul to pick something up so you kind of feel it physically, and don't stress.
Okay, there it is. I really relate to the whole body image resistance training thing because when I've been really consistent with it and have felt really strong, which I would say probably the last year is the most strong I've ever felt because I've really focused on it. I do feel better when I look in the mirror and my body looks the same.
Yeah.
Right. It really hasn't changed that much in the outer appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stronger. And I know that it's stronger. And I just feel better prepared to face the world, which that's what it's intended to do. So it's intended to help me prepare. And like I said, you have helped me kind of with that mindset of our bodies are given to us to be people that walk through the world to do God's good work. And so how are we caring for our bodies in a way that allows us to do the good work we are called to do.
Amen.
And so that's what we're talking about. And I feel like, Alisa, we could just talk to you. We could have you on 500 times. 3 times is not enough. 500 times.
I feel like what's been said for this season, the midlife, we've said it, let it be known. And ladies, yeah, don't be confused. There's too much out there to like try and keep you busy on the hamster wheel. Enjoy this part of life. This is if we've lived this long, now's the time to really get clear gratitude we have for God and the vision for our family and the legacy we want to leave. And this is our time. It's a fantastic time.
Right. And we need to take care of ourselves so we can do the good work that God has given
Amen.
us to do.
Yes.
We have energy to do it. That's my big
Absolutely.
thing. Because I'm tired, because I'm stressed, because I'm not sleeping. So like I'm trying to focus in on how do I have the best energy to move through my days to do what God has put in front of me.
Yep.
Okay. I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
You have a last word for our listeners. And then where do they find you for more help? If they're like, yes, I want the resistance training, or yes, I want more of this sense of peace that I'm going to carry with me as I make these changes and mindset shift around my body. Where can they find more of you? So those are my 2 questions. Last word, more of you.
Last word. Psalm 92, 12 through 15. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green. I love this. Another translation says, they will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green. That is the word, Lord. There is something for us in this season to be fruitful. We're still under the mandate. Be fruitful and multiply. It's different, though. We do it a different way. And I think it shows the goodness of God in the land of the living. So continue to go. Press on, ladies. Fresh and green. You can do it. I would say the good news with that is I have tons of resources for you, tons of free resources. If you are ready to move your body differently in a way that is gracious and kind. And it's more about, this is for you, God. I'm a living sacrifice. This is my act of worship, not of my body, not worshiping my body. This is where worship happens. Go to revelationwellness.org. That's our website. We have something called RevWell TV. It is completely free. And it is hundreds and hundreds of workout videos. So I'll come into your living room or into your on your smartphone or wherever, and anywhere from 20 to 40-minute workouts. We have all kinds. So if you want to get strength training, we've got them. Just get in there and Google search basic strength in RevWell TV, and we'll get you going with some strength. If it's some HIIT that you want to try, great. We have it all there. As well as our podcasts. We have one as well, Revelation Wellness Podcast, where you can put on a Revving the Word and go for a nice walk and hear the Word of God and really unpack what's going on in your heart so we can get after the stress, because that's the real killer. Whatever Satan is trying to kill, steal, and destroy, we want to get after that so that you have life full and you embody it. We're going to move our bodies and do that together. So go to the website and check those things out.
Well, thank you, Alisa. And we sure love you.
Thank you for you guys.
Thank you for inviting yourself. No, you didn't invite yourself.
I did.
We invited you. You offered yourself, and we invited you into the sisterhood again because we are so happy to have you.
I love it. Well, ladies, I hope that this blessed you, and just let them know. If you have any questions, you can also find me on Instagram at Alisa Keeton, or really I'm going through my website now, alisakeeton.com, doing a lot more sharing over there.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks. Love you.